and welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. This is a quick video today because I know I touched on cleaning pallets in the past, and I mentioned pallet tape, and I showed you a roll of pallet tape, but I didn't really, I explained the usage of pallet tape as compared to using a solvent and just cleaning off the buildup of spray tack and lint and such that you would normally get on your pallet surface. I compared and contrasted the two a little bit and showed you the roll of pallet tape, but I didn't really show you what you do. So today I got to change my pallet tape off of my aluminum pallets, so I figured I would show you really quick how the pallet tape actually makes things really easy and quick. So you can peel off the pallet tape and put a new piece on and have a fresh, smooth surface to work with. Because remember, in screen printing, with screen printing t-shirts, you want to have a nice, smooth, even, consistent surface for your printing, because any textures or patterns in your palette will show up or can show up in the print, depending on what you're doing. Okay, so it's always a good idea to start with a nice, clean, smooth surface. All right, so I'm just gonna grab my roll of pallet tape. Remember, I showed you a roll of pallet tape, but I didn't show you how we peel them off. So let's take a quick look at the pallet tape. I have some that are dirtier than others, you know what I'm saying? So I'll show you a couple of pallets and we'll peel them all off and we'll put some pallet tape on, okay? And I'll show you like one in real time, and then I'll probably, speed up the roll to go through all of them for you, and we'll put all fresh pallet tape on the pallets, the aluminum pallets I have on here today. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here's the first pallet, and I had a little piece of tape over here because the edge of it kept coming up on me. Sometimes that happens if you don't, cut them well. So this one's not too dirty, but the thing about it is that when you do your pallet tape or clean your pallets and you're printing a bunch of shirts at the same time, you kind of want to do it at the same time so that you have a consistent print surface each time. All right, now each one of these will be a little bit different. This one here I had printed a bunch of black shirts on, and it's important to note, I always say that, I know, isn't it funny? But it's important to note that the longer you leave the pallet tape on the pallet and use it, and this is especially critical for automatic presses, the more the pallet tape is going to get embedded on the pallet. And in fact, if you leave it on there too long, it will get so stuck to the pallet that you'll pretty much have to use solvent to get it off. And it's a major nightmare. See that? How it's right there, actually. You can see that one was separating a little bit. So you're better off actually changing your pallet tape on a regular, more consistent time frame than you are trying to wait and use it and use it all up. Oh, they're not all dirty, I can still use them. Like, look, now you move on to this one, and it's not so bad. Got a little yellow from some heat. Sometimes these things can be a little bit of a pain to get going, but this is far easier and faster than having to and much more convenient than having to use solvent, and clean up like all the lint and spray tack and everything by yourself. This is much easier, trust me. It's just, but like I said, you want to do it more consistently. I probably should have changed these a little while ago. See how that's going on there? So if I had changed these maybe a week ago, they'll pull up very easily all in one piece rather than like this. But this is still, again, I'd rather do this than have to do solvent and everything. All right, so let me speed through the rest. I only have two more Well, look at this one. All right, maybe I won't speed through these. Here, look. Look at this one. This one's wrinkled up. And yeah, maybe I will speed through these, okay? Because this one's going to be a little bit of a pain. All right, so now as you can see, we've got all the pallets are just bare aluminum, and you could see like this one here was kind of a pain to peel off because, you know, it was on there a little bit too long, and it might have got you know, a little bit more heat. Maybe I left it under the flash cure and cooked it up a little bit. So that was a good demonstration of why it's important to do your pallet tape on a regular basis rather than, oh, it still looks good. Yeah, it still may look good to print on, but the longer you leave it on there, the more of a pain it could be and possibly a nightmare to take off. So pallet tape is designed to be used a little bit more regularly. And now I got my roll and I'm alone. It's a little bit helpful if you had somebody to help you do this. So I'm alone today to do this demo for you. So I'm going to do it the easy way. My pallet tape is a little bit bigger than the pallet. Okay. So let me just get this cut here, and then what I'm going to do is, the idea is now this is the tricky part, because you have to get this stuff on here relatively smooth. Okay, and sometimes that can be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so you know, you could actually use one of those window squeegees and stuff like that. I'm kind of used to it. I do okay. You know, I get a little pocket in there once in a while, but that's about it, like this. Now the thing is what you really want to do, I think, is you want to trim this with a little bit, not all the way to the edge of the pallet. And the reason why is, hang on a second, as I concentrate on not slicing a finger off. The reason why is because you actually want to have a little bit of the pallet tape go underneath. The way I cut them the last time, I cut them close to the edge, or right up on the edge, and then what happens is when you're putting the shirt on, the edge of the pallet tape will get caught on the shirt. So if you can kind of, you know, and you might, you know, I don't know how well this will work for me today, but I'm going to try it like this and try to make it so that my edges won't keep coming unruffled and such. I might have to leave a little bit more tape, I think, so it can tuck under the pallet a little bit better. I might have cut it a little tight there. So maybe next one I'll leave a little bit more. That's all right though, it seems to be clinging on there. All right, so that's it. All right, that's basically it. That's one of them, and I'm gonna whip through the rest of them, and I'll see if you know, we'll speed up the film, and you can watch me do the other 5 of these pallets. Okay. All right then, there we go. That was a bit of a workout. You can see that working with pallet tape alone can be a little bit problemsome. I had, you know, it started to tear on me when I was pulling it off the roll, you know, and I had to fix that. I think that was because it's a new roll, and nicks at the edges can cause it to pull off the roll, incorrectly. So you want to keep your roll of pallet tape in good shape and make sure not to, damage the edges, because that'll cause problems when you're unrolling it, okay? And it can get a little hairy working with pallet tape, and sometimes it can be a little bit fussy on the pallet and stuff when you're applying it. And but if you have somebody to help you, it's a lot easier, of course. And I think compared to using solvents, and what I'm saying, I'd still rather sit there and peel pieces of tape off, than have to soak the pallet with solvents and wait and wipe and soak and wipe and wait, and because it gets pretty nasty. So it's pretty cool. Pallet tape is good stuff. If you get little air bubbles, a little air bubble, like I'm going to go through and look at my pallets, and there's probably a couple little air bubbles here and there. You can just take the box knife and poke them like a pimple, and then flatten it out. The air will come out and it'll flatten out, as long as it's not like some huge bubble that's going to get wrinkles, if you know what I'm saying. So that's pretty cool. If you like pallet tape, you can actually get pallet tape from I think a couple of the print suppliers on the print supplies page of the Cat's Bit website, which offer discount and promo codes for you guys. A couple of those vendors will offer pallet tape, so you can go look at their listing, go to their website, e-commerce site, and look for pallet tape. You can choose any one of them and check it out, and I believe more than one on the print supplies page, of course, will have pallet tape. So it's a pretty common supply, and you can get a discount using the Cat's Bit promo codes for each of the vendors at checkout when you buy supplies online. It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's it for today. Probably a little longer video than I anticipated, because fussing with the pallet tape. But I think it's, like I said, it's a lot easier than doing it the solvent way. All right, so thanks a lot for watching and bearing with me as I put all the pallet tape on the pallets. I appreciate you guys checking out my videos. It means a lot to me. If you like what you see, rate thumbs up, leave a comment below, even if you just say nice. I don't care. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job, and I appreciate it. And of course, subscribe. I always appreciate that, and that helps out a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.